Polar scientists at every career stage participated in a unique two-day workshop designed to turn their research into science stories and then use those science stories in the classroom. The workshop was hosted at the University of Delaware January 9th through 11th, 2019. This program was produced by the School of Marine Science and Policy at the University of Delaware, Rutgers University, and Polar-izing. Funding was provided by the National Science Foundation.
It's also important to recognize that we are constantly telling others stories from our lives.
Our goals for today were really to help improve the science communication skills of our scientists that work in the polar regions, centered around helping them think about their own personal science stories and translate them for public impact. So we brought in our experts who are experts in science communication and had them workshop with the professors to be able to do that.
So obviously who you're aiming the story to and what I always love getting to spend the day with scientists who are eager and interested to share their stories. So I'm hoping to kind of equip the group here today with a set of tools that they can use to flesh out a story idea that they have to kind of communicate their science.
I think that there's one point that we need to bring out here.
There are many different types of stories to tell, and they are all ways of getting people interested in their research and getting different people excited about science and being scientists, and that's really what we want to do.
And after spending some time rowing around where we thought the box should be,
I didn't realize before how many different ways you can share your science. Like video and audio I knew, but Instagram, cartoons, artwork, that sort of thing was new to me.
Yesterday we were really thinking about how we could build really unique and interesting stories from the bits of data. Today we want to think about how to take stories into the classroom and ask the question, not just what stories can be told, but what stories in fact are being told. We have a story challenge that we want to deal with, but then we want to transition to a technical challenge, which is how do we get students engaged in programming? How do we get them past some of the technical barriers so that they can be successful in recognizing the stories that are being told about the polar oceans, but also be able to evaluate whether or not those stories are warranted or justified given the data that's available.
I've always taught using constructivism, but I hadn't thought about constructivism in science communication and helping people that are listening to my story construct the science.
The activities that we had for them today help build up the capacity to do that and also to create tools that they could then take back and use. And it seemed like quite a few of them were actually going to take those tools back.
I learned the importance of incorporating a personal element into my science story and making it more relevant to people. If my audience is my group of biology majors in my department, which includes quite a number of students from underrepresented groups, how could we use stories about polar research to keep those students engaged in STEM, perhaps get them interested in field ecology and even polar research?
I learned that it's okay to bring yourself into your story, that people really care what it feels like to do science and to know what it's like to be in a place and to be having that experience. And I learned a bunch of handy technological tools for figuring out how to tell these stories.
In addition to how they performed each day, how they were sort of able to take what was happening in day one and translate it to day two. So I thought overall that, to me, that makes for a very successful workshop.